So we're back with another talk by the water cooler, and today we have Jean Bender, Vice President of Pharmaceutical Sciences and Technology at Visterra. Jean, thanks for being here and talking with us today.
No problem. Thank you, Jonathan.
So, Jean, you had an incredible career working with antibodies. And during your time in the industry, many other modalities have come. Some have also gone. Why do you think the antibodies have had such a great longevity in this space?
Well, that's a great question. First, I'd say they work. We have developed antibodies, and they have found their way in targeted medicines. They work really well. We've created a great platform for manufacturing them, and they are sustaining because they solve problems for diseases. They work really well. They're easy to manufacture. They're easy to make. We know exactly what we're doing with them. They're easy to purify. So I think that they have a longevity because of their efficacy and what they're delivering for patients.
Yeah. So what's the latest with antibodies? I mean, what are the differences between the antibodies that we're seeing come to the market today and the ones that we were introducing to the market at the beginning of the sort of antibody age?
Yeah, at the beginning, we were making the same antibodies in your body. And today now we're being very creative in terms of antibody design. We understand enough about the disease to put targeted molecules on every arm of the antibody. And so we're creating much more designer antibodies. I think these treat patients better with less side effects and allow the antibody development teams to just be more creative. So the antibody structure becomes more of a delivery technique for the targeted molecules that we're presenting. So that's what I see as the biggest difference, is the more design and more different kind of molecules, but still on the antibody platform, again, because of that ease in manufacturing.
And when you look ahead now 5 years, what do you think we'll be seeing then? What's your prediction we'll be seeing then in the antibody space?
Yeah, I think that we're going to be targeting much more diseases that are chronic diseases. Instead of taking a large population of people and trying to solve that disease, I think we're going to focus more on individual patients and diseases that affect those. I think there's going to be more of a focus on efficacy and safety for the long term and more personalized medicine, diseases that treat one patient at a time. That's kind of what I see.
Yeah. So I'm going to switch gears a little bit. I want to ask you a little bit about your career development. You've reached very senior roles in the organizations you've been part of, and you're also a woman. So what would be your advice to women who are starting out their careers in the biotechnology industry, an industry where when you joined was overrepresented by men and maybe in many cases still is today? And also, what advice would you give leaders at companies to ensure that we accelerate the journey towards equality?
Yeah, that's a great question. So first, for the women scientists and engineers starting out there, I would say don't leave until you leave. So first and foremost, you may have plans that may take you outside of the workforce for some amount of time, but don't not accept that project, that key next step, that promotion, because of an upcoming plan. Take those risks as you go forward. Accept those responsibilities. Ask for those responsibilities. So don't leave until you leave. The next thing I would say is when you're anticipating job opportunities or new projects, look at these as learning experiences. Don't take on a role because you know you can do 80% of that job already and you'll be successful in that. It's been documented that more women will take on new roles where they feel like they've already done 80% of that, whereas more men will take on roles that they've maybe done 40%. And so what does that mean? Are women less risk-taking? I don't know. I think we just want to be more secure in that we'll be delivering value. But take that risk. You'll be able to learn those new activities and to take those risks and take on those new challenges, even if you only have done a portion of what you will be asked to do in the new role. For managers and leaders, I would say that understand that every employee is an individual, and you all have flexible work environments now. Understand from an individual perspective what that means to someone. Maybe that means someone's got to take off in the middle of the day to go take care of something and come back and work later. Apply these flexible work policies so that they support the other activities that many women have to take care of outside of the workplace. And as leaders and managers provide the same opportunities to all of the employees, regardless of whether or not you think they might be leaving for a short amount of time to go take care of other things. So that's what I would say.
Great advice.
Thank you.
So we ask this question of everyone. Last question. If you look back to your first day in the industry and where we are today, what do you think has been the single biggest development that's been significant for us in the biotech industry?
Wow, I think it's got to be the Human Genome Project. And, researchers now know exactly what genes they're targeting. With all of the work that researchers have done to type disease and look at things, I think that we have the answers already more quickly in front of us about how disease states are related to particular genes. And understanding that with the monoclonal antibody platform and other platforms, we're much more quickly able to generate targets that go right to that disease state. I think with that map in front of us, the discovery group has a much better handle on what the validated targets are for disease. So we can get those medicines to patients much more quickly. That's what I think is sort of the biggest thing that I've seen in my career.
Yeah, that's super interesting.
Thank you.
Well, Jean, thanks for being with us today. We really appreciate you taking the time.
Always great to talk to you, Jonathan. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.